Denver's district attorney is not filing charges against a man for shooting and killing a 12-year-old boy who's driving a stolen car. Prosecutors say, despite the fact they're not going to go after charges, Denver police are still going to investigate.
Denver's DA says they do not think they can convince a jury that the man who shot the boy committed a crime. 9 News reporter Luis De Leon explains why a case like this can be so complex.
When a man used an app to track his car that he said was stolen from northeast Denver, he tracked it to the corner of 12th and Decatur in Sun Valley, according to police. The car's owner approached his car, and police say he was involved in an exchange of gunfire. A 12-year-old boy was hit, who drove the stolen car away, and police believe other people in the stolen car ditched. The 12-year-old boy did not make it. Denver's district attorney says they will not file charges against the man because they can't prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But DPD says they're still investigating pieces of the case related to who the other people in the stolen car were, the stealing of the car itself, and the shots fired at the man.
Those individuals may in fact face some enhanced charges because of the death of their co-participant in crime.
9 News legal expert Scott Robinson says a big factor in all of this is the argument of self-defense.
Colorado does not permit the use of deadly force to protect property, but Colorado does permit deadly force if it appears that someone is about to do serious bodily injury or death to you.
But because the sequence of events are still unclear,
those calculations make it difficult for a prosecutor to determine what to do in this case.
And while Robinson believes cases involving deadly force to prevent theft is common, what is rare is for a DA to change their mind after already saying that they won't press charges.
Prosecutors have to be pretty well convinced that they can't prove a case when they announce publicly that charges will not be brought against a particular individual.
So Robinson also echoed what both DPD and Councilmember Jamie Torres, which the shooting happened in her district, what they told me last week, that he feels it's too risky to go after your vehicle if it is stolen and you can track it instead of calling police for help, generally speaking, Alex.
Yeah, you can see how complicated this case appears to be, but it seems like there's still so many holes in this.
Still trying to get more information from police on this, so we'll see.
We know you'll stay on top of it. Luis, thanks.
The company that owns JBS Foods, the meatpacking facility in Greeley, is being fined more than $1 million for illegally employing kids. That includes at the plant in Greeley. Investigators learned the parent company, Packer Sanitation Services, had illegally employed at least 102 kids in 8 states. Kids as young as 13 using dangerous chemicals to clean razor-sharp equipment. Many of the kids were working overnight shifts. 13 different meatpacking plants. Investigators say when they brought search warrants to the facilities, the adults who had hired the kids tried to, quote, derail the efforts to investigate. Investigators found 4 kids working at the plant in Greeley. In total, JBS's parent company was ordered to pay $1.5 million in civil penalties.
Nearly 2,000 gallons of gas spilled into the North St. Vrain Creek 2 years ago, killing hundreds of fish and damaging a 5-mile stretch of the river near Lyons. Now the company responsible has to pay nearly $250,000 to the state. In 2021, a tanker truck rolled on US 36 near Lyons, spilling the gas. More than 800 trout died as a result, and pockets of gas were being found in the nearby soil. The river was still recovering from the 2013 flood. Colorado Natural Resources trustees filed a natural resource claim against MTY Trucking, the company that owned the truck, to get it to pay for the restoration fees. The trustees will work with the town of Lyons on how to distribute the settlement money to restore the river.
In the same week that Suncor said one of their 3 plants at the refinery would be working again, they now say they're dealing with a vapor leak. Spokesperson would not say what kind of vapor, but did say that their monitoring system showed the substances leaked were below detection levels. Plant 2 was expected to be fully operational this week after the plant shut down in late December. Suncor and its pollution has long been a concern, especially for those who live close to the refinery in Commerce City. Last night, all 13 candidates in the 9 News mayoral debate said that they would push state and federal regulators for tougher restrictions on Suncor. Right now, landlords can raise a tenant's rent as high as they choose. There's a more than 40-year-old law that bans rent control in Colorado. That could change. A new bill passed through a House committee this week. It would allow local governments to choose to enact rent control if they like. A similar bill was floated in 2019 and didn't pass. Proponents of the bill say that this should help working families.
That means that they're able to set roots and be connected to their community. It means that parents don't have to go to bed worried whether they're going to be able to make rent and have a roof over their heads.
The Colorado Apartment Association said rent control doesn't work, scares off developers because there's no financial incentive. And they say it does the opposite of the intended purpose by making housing less available and more expensive. This week, one of the bill's sponsors, Democratic Representative Javier Mabry, introduced a couple of amendments. They're concessions to critics. The new proposal would allow rents to increase along with inflation. It would make exceptions for new developments.
Students at DU gathered tonight to celebrate Jewish pride after a series of anti-Semitic acts on campus last week. Someone put pork products on a student's dorm room door and tore down prayer parchments with Hebrew verses from the Torah. Tonight, all students were invited to a candle lighting, a ceremony with songs of peace, and speeches to get a feel for the Jewish life on campus. DU officials say they're investigating those anti-Semitic vandalism.
11 days after the 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked Syria and Turkey, there are incredible rescues still happening. A 45-year-old man was found alive under the rubble today. He had been there for 278 hours. He was conscious when he was rescued. A woman was freed from the rubble today. She had been buried for more than 250 hours. Nearly 44,000 people are known to have died. Victims were honored today at Wash Park at a candlelight vigil. The Turkish American Cultural Society of Colorado hosted that event. Along with honoring the lives lost, they wanted to create a place where people could connect and lean on each other.
When they hear that people all around the world is caring for them, it really gives them some reason to continue.
The group that hosted the vigil is having a fundraiser in early March for disaster relief.
The 5 former Memphis officers accused of murdering Tyree Nichols pleaded not guilty in court today. Body cam footage shows these 5 officers beating and kicking Nichols after a traffic stop. Nichols died 3 days later. They're facing several charges, including second-degree murder, assault, and kidnapping. The former officers' attorneys claim they were just doing their job. The officers were part of the department's now disbanded Scorpion unit meant to combat violent crime. The Shelby County District Attorney says they're reviewing up to 100 prior cases involving that unit. 75 of those cases related to the 5 officers charged in Nichols' death.
It's not like buying a pack of chocolate from a vending machine.
Well, yeah, no, not exactly, because it's a first-of-its-kind marijuana vending machine.
Oh my. We are looking at an interesting weekend. We have some snowfall up in the high country, sunshine here in the metro area. Details on that and a look ahead toward next week after the break.
The bad ice almost levels the playing field for us that actually suck at the game, so.
Joy and maybe an 8 a.m. beer makes this tournament really special, celebrating the sport of hockey at the largest natural lake in Colorado.